Mixtures are impure substances in which two or more constituents are combined in any proportion. Since the constituents are not chemically combined, so we can separate the mixtures, that is, we can separate the constituents of a mixture using different physical methods. Let's look at some separation techniques. So we have different kinds of mixtures. We may have solid liquid mixtures. So the solid liquid mixtures can be homogeneous or heterogeneous. Similarly, we can have liquid mixtures. Again, they can be homogeneous or heterogeneous. Let's start with the solid liquid mixture. We'll take the first case, that is a solid liquid mixture which is heterogeneous. Let's take an example. We have accidentally dropped a chalk piece into water. So you know that this is a heterogeneous mixture. Why? Because in one part we have a chalk piece and in the other part we do not have it. So it does not have the same composition, therefore this is heterogeneous. Now how do you separate this chalk piece from water? You simply take it out using your hand. Now you crush this chalk piece into powder and then add into water. You dissolve it into water. If you leave it undisturbed, you will see that the chalk piece settles at the bottom after some time. And then you can pour the clear liquid into another beaker. So in this case, we have separated the chalk powder from water using a process known as gravitation or sedimentation. Gravitation comes from the word gravity. That means using the process of gravity or by the force of gravity, the insoluble solid settles at the bottom. And this insoluble solid is known as sediment. So once the insoluble solid or the sediment settles at the bottom, we can pour out the clear liquid which is at the top into another vessel. This process of pouring out the clear liquid into another beaker is known as decantation. So when we combine these two processes, that is gravitation or sedimentation with decantation, we can separate out an insoluble solid from a liquid. Another way to separate insoluble solid from a liquid, say again we have chalk powder dissolved in water. Now in this case, we take this vessel. This is a conical flask. This is known as a conical flask because it is in the shape of a cone. We have a funnel and a filter paper is attached to this funnel. And we take a glass rod. Observe what happens. So you add the contents of the beaker in the conical flask. And when you observe the filter paper, you see the entire chalk powder is settled on this filter paper. So this is a process which is known as filtration. In this case, we take a filter paper. In this process of filtration, it is known as filtration because we take a filter paper. The filter paper has some tiny pores in it. When we add the contents, the water particles, they are very small in size, so they can easily pass through the pores. But the chalk particles or the insoluble solid, these particles are bigger in size. Therefore, they settle on the filter paper. So this process, that is filtration, in this we use a filter paper fixed in funnel. And this arrangement helps us to separate the insoluble solid from the liquid. Now we have two processes to separate the insoluble solid from the liquid. We have sedimentation and filtration. Let's see, why do we need two processes? Sedimentation is a slower process, whereas filtration is faster. Why? In sedimentation, you need to leave the contents of the beaker undisturbed for a very long time. Whereas in case of filtration, you can simply pass the contents of a beaker using a filter paper funnel arrangement and you can separate the insoluble solid. Another disadvantage of sedimentation method is that it takes a long time and it is less accurate. So it's taking long time, it's slower and it is less accurate. Why is it less accurate? It's because when you are pouring the contents into another beaker, that is when you are decanting the clear liquid, at times some solid may also pass in another beaker. Whereas in case of filtration, the filter paper, it retains the entire amount of the insoluble solid. So filtration is more accurate. So when filtration is a faster process, it is more accurate. Why do we need sedimentation at all? This is because sedimentation is more convenient to carry out. Suppose you have accidentally dropped some sand into water. Now you want to separate this sand, but you do not have a filter paper funnel arrangement with you. So what do? You simply allow the beaker containing sand in water, you leave it undisturbed for some time, and you see that the sand settles at the bottom. So sedimentation comes handy when we do not have a filter funnel paper arrangement. So this is why we need both sedimentation and filtration. Now we have seen one category, that is the heterogeneous mixture of solid and liquid. Now let's take the second category. We have a solid liquid mixture which is homogeneous. Let's take an example. We have salt dissolved in water. You dissolve some salt in water and you leave it on table for some time. Do you think that the salt will settle at the bottom? No, it will not. And if you take a filter funnel paper arrangement, that is if you carry out filtration, do you think the salt will remain on the filter paper? No, it will not. Why? Because the salt particles are also very small and they also pass with water. So even if we leave the contents, that is, we dissolve salt in water and we leave it for hours and hours, the salt will not settle at the bottom. So when we have a homogeneous liquid, that is, when we have a soluble solid dissolved in a liquid, we cannot separate it using sedimentation or filtration. So what do? We heat it. So in this case, we have a salt solution. This is known as a sand bath. We have this vessel in which we add some sand, and on top of it we place the vessel containing salt solution. Why do we use this sand bath? This is because, number one, it provides uniform heating. Since we use this sand bath, it provides uniform heating to the entire salt solution. And number two, it prevents breakage. Since we use a glass vessel, so if we directly heat it on this Bunsen flame, the vessel might break. So we use a sand bath to prevent the breakage of this glass vessel. So now we have a homogeneous solution. We have salt dissolved in water. So now we heat the contents. Observe what happens. So on heating, the liquid or the water evaporates, it changes into the gaseous form, and the salt is left behind. So in this method or in this process, when we have a homogeneous solution, that is, we have a soluble solid which is dissolved in the liquid, we use a process known as evaporation. In this, the liquid, it evaporates, it changes into the gaseous form, leaving the soluble solid behind. So by using evaporation, we can separate the soluble solid from a liquid. Another way or another technique to separate the soluble solid is by using this arrangement. In this, we have this flask which is known as round bottom flask. This has a round bottom, so this is known as round bottom flask. This is known as a cooling jacket. In this, we have cold water. This jacket contains an arm which contains cooling jacket, and we have an empty beaker in the end. So observe what happens. We heat the salt solution. Water changes into the gaseous form. In the cooling jacket, it condenses and falls in the beaker. So in this method, what did we do? We heated the salt solution As we heat the salt solution, the water changes into gaseous form. So when we have the vapors, as they reach the cooling jacket, this cold jacket leads to the condensation of the vapors, and so we are able to collect the clear liquid or water in the other beaker, and this round bottom flask contains salt. So in this case, we have used a process known as distillation. Distillation is the process in which we heat the contents. So the liquid, it first changes into the gaseous form, and subsequently it condenses back and falls into another beaker. So in case we want to collect the liquid as well, we use the process of distillation. What happened in evaporation? The entire liquid evaporates off. We are not able to collect the clear liquid. But when we need to collect the clear liquid as well, we use the process of distillation. This is the process which is used in some cities for getting clear drinking water. So we process the sea water. Sea water contains salt. In this case, we want clear drinking water. So by using the process of distillation, clear water is separated from the soluble salt. So as this clear water is separated, using distillation, this clear drinking water can be used in some cities. So now let's take a question. We have a solid X which is completely soluble in a liquid Y. The solid can be separated from the liquid using the process of filtration. Is this statement true or false? The question says we have a solid which is completely soluble in the liquid Y. This means it is a homogeneous mixture. When we have a homogeneous mixture, that means the solid is completely soluble in a liquid. For such mixtures, we cannot use filtration. This is because the soluble solid, it also has very small particles. So when we use the filter paper, the particles of the solid pass along with the liquid. So we cannot use filtration. So the given statement is false. For such substances or for such mixtures, we can use processes which are applied for homogeneous solutions. So for such mixtures, we can use processes like evaporation, or distillation. When we have a homogeneous solution, when the solid completely dissolves in the liquid, we cannot separate it using filtration. We use evaporation or distillation to separate the soluble solid from the liquid. This is another experiment which you can even perform at home. We have milk and a rotating device. Observe what happens. You switch on the rotating device, and you see that you can separate the cream from the milk. In this, we have used a process known as centrifugation. Centrifugation is used for homogeneous solutions, and this involves rotating the contents of the mixture rapidly. So when we have milk, it is a very thick liquid. It is homogeneous in nature. So if we perform distillation or evaporation, it takes a very long time to separate cream. It is also a very tedious and less accurate method. So when we use centrifugation, we rotate the contents very rapidly, and the lighter particles, in this case, the lighter part is cream and the heavier part is milk. So when we use the process of centrifugation, the lighter substance, it is separated, it floats on the top, and the heavier particle, in this case the heavier substance remains milk, so it settles at the bottom, and therefore we can separate the two. In laboratories, we use a special machine which is known as centrifugation machine. So we take the homogeneous mixture in test tubes, we put it in a centrifugation machine, there are special places or positions for these test tubes. It is advised to keep the test tubes on opposite ends to balance the machine. Now when we switch on the machine, you see that they are rapidly rotated. So when we take it out, we see that the solid, which is heavier in this case, it settles at the bottom, and the clear liquid separates out. That is, it comes on the top. So using centrifugation, we separate the contents of a homogeneous mixture. The heavier particle settles at the bottom and the lighter particles floats on the top. So let's revise or recollect what we have studied so far. We have a solid liquid mixture. It can be homogeneous or heterogeneous. When we have a homogeneous mixture, the solid is completely soluble in a liquid. So we use techniques like evaporation, distillation and centrifugation to separate the soluble solid from the liquid. In case of heterogeneous mixture, we use techniques like sedimentation and filtration. Since the solid is not completely soluble in the liquid, by using these techniques, we can separate the insoluble solid. So this is how we separate the soluble solid or the insoluble solid from the liquid.